Hello and namaste. This is Bipin Maharzan and this is Offbeat Zone episode number 12. And today, as usual, I have been joined by Vicky, our co-host and co-partner. Ruben is on the way for this episode. I think he just woke up and he's getting freshened up. And to join in this episode, to join with us, we have a very special friend, an entrepreneur, very intelligent friend of mine, and we have been friends since nursery. So, special episode, special people, an entrepreneur, both service and product oriented entrepreneur, Mr. Rasik Sakya. Welcome, Rasik.
Yo, hello, Bipin and Vicky. Yeah, thank you. Wonderful welcome. I feel like you have over exaggerated, but thank you anyways.
Do you feel like celebrity?
That's our
Not
mission.
really, not
That's
really.
our, yeah.
Yeah, you should feel like celebrity. So the main objective of to this show is we need sponsors and we are targeting for the entrepreneurs who are earning money this time. So yeah, you can always approach us for the sponsorship, Rasik.
Okay. I currently am very struggling right now, so yeah, once I get there, I hope I get there soon, and then we'll
Yeah.
think about it.
I think we have to bring some gold people as well, Vicky. You know what I'm saying.
Uh, yeah, but we are just starting out, so we need some baseline people also. So we are approaching Rasik right now.
Baseline.
Yeah, baseline people. Once he gets success, then he will sponsor us definitely. Why
Yeah,
not?
start
Definitely,
small.
definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
right.
Let us grow and let him grow one day, and we will surely collaborate. I think that was joke, and we took it very seriously, and we are like
Okay.
committing ourselves for the sponsorship. And so, Vicky, I know Vicky is this week Vicky was a COVID prisoner. So one of his roommate got COVID, and he is isolated, right?
Yeah,
He seems surprised.
I'm not surprised. He knows so many things about me right now. It is
Uh-huh.
really confusing for me. Yeah, I had to stay for 1 week, and it's still going on. So I've been sick for a whole week, so it hasn't been easy trying to figure out how to deal with things. That's all. But it'll pass, I think, soon rather
It
than
will
later.
pass.
Yeah.
So movies? Do you watch any movies during the isolation?
I watched a lot about movies, but I don't want to talk about it right now because it will take over lots and lots of time.
Mhm.
So maybe we
Sure.
should get back to what we are here for.
Yeah, Rosik, how was your week? In short, we will get into the topic now.
My week, I've been busy in some homely stuff. I had a regular check-in at cafe,
Hmm.
and yeah, things are just rolling out, slow and easy. Nothing much hectic
Apart,
and nothing much slow.
apart, apart from getting busy for your marriage, what are you busy on now?
Uh, Busy on, I don't know. There are things going on. Like I started cycling again,
Uh,
so it's like 1 week today. So I went for a ride this morning as well, an hour ride. Yeah,
nice.
so I've started
So,
that.
so this is the difference between 9 to 5 job holders and entrepreneurs. They go to gym, and on the other side, Vicky and I, we are unemployed, and when we are unemployed, we get so many thoughts, and one of the thought is, yeah, we're we're like 22 or 23, we should have started the business, and we should like start an entrepreneurship journey. So that was the thought I had, and I am sure Vicky also had the same thought. So, Rossi, let's get to it. How does it to be an entrepreneur?
I think like entrepreneur as a word is very let's say vague because like any kind of like job also can be related to like being an entrepreneur, starting something or anything like that. But I believe like I am thriving to be an entrepreneur, but I've not reached there yet. And it started for me when I was like real small at home. It started from my home. I believe that because I have been in a family which is like completely business oriented. My dad, he had started his own business of metal handicraft statues. So since then, like it started at my home. He taught me, like small things, like how you develop a product, how you market that, how you try to sell that, and like what are the things that you need to take care of in your product, and like basically like to make a product and to sell that. So it started for me from my home when I was like too little to understand like what entrepreneurship, a big word, is.
Mhm. So when you were at school, did you like have a thought of being entrepreneur, or you just hit and miss?
Uh, like when back at school, like we always thought like big words like doctor, pilot, or like
Hidden
engineer.
potentials,
Engineer
yeah.
was also difficult. Yeah, I always thought like I wanted to become a pilot because
Hmm.
reason being like once when I was traveling to India or someplace, I saw some pilots, like walking with such an attitude with that dress, and then like the
Swag.
luggages and everything, that swag, it really got me, and I wanted to become something like that. Just I did not know what a pilot would go through, what his daily life would look like and everything, but just because I saw that and I got very inspired. So that was very initial thoughts of mine. Later, when like slowly I grew up and then thought of different things, then like reality hits, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Vicky, do you have any questions? I know you have. Go ahead.
No, I
Shoot.
was just thinking I should have learned to ride bicycles at some point in my life, which I never did. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
just remember. Yeah, it's just yeah, we have known Rusik for so long, yeah, but we always assume that he would be in some like, especially me, that he would do some like most professional works like like pilots or engineers. So entrepreneurship is a different kind of field, right? It's more independent in nature. So with that, there might be some challenges, right?
There are challenges. There are challenges at every step. I would say, like um, let's say like okay, family business, which is like metal handicraft business. We have this company called Money Mandap Craft. So this was there when I was like small. It started from home. I said my dad is a pretty good artist. Like he's well known around Patan area, like to make the statues. So this metal handicraft statues has been in Patan for a very long time, and it is quite famous all around the world. Like the Ruby museums or so many like well-known museums also have like statues and these the process that we basically make the lost wax method of statue making, so which is very popular. So this had been there in like around Patan for a very long time. My father, he also joined this business and started like making the statues and all these process, like the traditional process. So yeah, it started from there, and I knew the roots of this business from the very childhood. So it started from there for me. Well, hello,
That's
Ruben.
that's very interesting,
Hello
and we have
guys,
Rubin on
how
the
are you?
house.
Hello.
We are good. We are good. We are good. So we are talking about entrepreneurship with the most emerging entrepreneur of Patan, right?
With the man
And
himself.
with the man
The man
himself,
The
himself.
Rasik
man
Yeah.
himself.
Sakya.
Yeah.
Rasik Sakya in the house, people.
All right.
So yeah,
We should
All
put
right.
some
All right.
background music. Okay,
yeah.
Drum
All right.
put
roll
some
or
music
All right.
into that.
Oh, calm down,
We're good.
boys.
We're good.
Calm down. He will sponsor us. Calm down. We are getting hyped up. Come on, calm down.
People are getting
Uh,
mad.
uh,
We are getting mad
let's
here.
get
So
get back to the topic.
yeah,
So
yeah.
what?
Yeah. Please go ahead. Go ahead, Rubin. Rubin.
Um, so what was the we were discussing about? Like Rosik.
so
We,
like
we were
how
discussing about his business.
Oh,
entrepreneur started for me. That was what we were talking about.
okay.
And Rasik,
This
I was
these are
just like,
Yeah.
some.
sorry. Yeah, these are some of the works
Yeah,
that are
the
present in
works.
your shop right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and they are
They're
beautiful,
beautiful, actually.
beautiful, well detailed. Nice. Yeah, go ahead, Vicky.
So Yeah, what I was saying was like how entrepreneur started for me. So it started very early age when I did not even know what entrepreneurship was. So it started back then. But the moment I decided that this is something I want to do is like when I kind of completed my plus two. I finished that, and later I actually joined an engineering college for engineering degree. So then, my father was also struggling for the marketing purpose and everything, because like what he did, how he started was like he started from the roots, he started from the base, and he took the business to a place where, like, for him, he had a milestone to come across, and he took the business to that level. And it needed some uplifting, it needed some international recognition, it needed like people to understand how this, like, how this statue is made, and what kind of work is behind like all these statues to be, like, presented in that way. So that is where I kicked in. I took my first international, like, trip with my dad, a business trip, back in 2015, the year of the earthquake. So that was my first trip. We went to Vietnam in an exhibition, a trade fair, where we exhibited our products there and tried to, like, get some potential customers from there, and also explain like about this process, this lost wax method of statue making and everything. So there's my
So this is the
family.
beautiful picture of the family.
Yeah.
Uh, his dad, his sister, and his mom. So yeah,
Mhm. And my
just to
grandmom.
just for the context. Yeah,
Yeah.
and your grandmom, just
Yeah.
for the context.
Rashik, I'd just like to
Mhm.
ask you, so statue business is mostly related with the international market, right? Especially in our country.
Not specifically. There are some domestic customers as well, like statues. So basically, we have to go back. Like, we normally make like Buddhist statues and like Hindu related statues. So in our culture, there's like a belief that we should have, like certain statues at our house. So be it a Buddha statue, Tara, and then Guru, and so there are different, like, like resemblance to different gods. So there are statues as well. So we have a culture of keeping certain statues at our house. So there are domestic customers as well. But basically, like, I am explaining my journey, how I came into the statue business. So my part was to, penetrate the international market and try to, like, sell our statues to the international customers. So that was how I got into the statue business.
Yeah, I was actually getting to that because there is a difference between a domestic and an international market.
Yeah.
So how do you cater to those both of them's market right now?
So basically, for the domestic market, I do not have much of a role there. So my father is looking more over to those part, and I try to, I am basically doing the marketing in the international market. So that is where that's
Oh,
what my role is in the uh, statue business, let's say.
I think
Then how do you,
that's
oh,
really
sorry.
impressive. Yeah, go ahead, Nikhil. Wow.
Interesting. Biggie,
See,
fire up.
I'm not referring. So like, what is the, since it's your business, how do you judge everything that's going around you?
Hmm.
Just in like what way?
As we like say, because we predominantly are we all have our own ego. So even if we do something wrong, if we work with someone, someone is going to tell us that no, you are doing this thing wrong, you need to do that, or like a report card. Your teacher says you got marks in this and that. How about yours, like your skills and what did you do for the company? So if it goes wrong or right, does someone tell you to do this thing or suggest you to go for it, or you just go believe in yourself and say, oh yeah, if I do wrong, I will correct it myself.
Uh, so yeah, this is a constant question that you ask yourself after you are doing something as an entrepreneur, because like there's no one to judge you or something. The results or the, the profit or loss, that will determine like you did a right thing or a wrong thing. So for example, like we once went to Denmark for the exhibition, so that was a bold step that we took. It was not like guided by someone, or like there was like 100% risk. There's like no guarantee that you will find customers or you will sell the products that you take there or anything. So it's always like you decide for yourself, like this might be the best step to that you take in for the business. So there's like there are like few criticisms that you will have to face on the way, like maybe from your family members or from your like competitors or everything. You will face that, but then ultimately the decision will be yours, and the consequences that come along also will be have to be faced by you alone. So there's like, yeah, no judgment or anything, but it all like for me in our business, I would say like me and my dad, we have constant conversations on like how should we take forward, like okay, should we do this or that. So it's just a constant debate between me and him, and like the outcome from there, we do that. And my mom also plays a vital role in that, in the decision making part, because like when we have some like disagreements with me and dad, so there has to be someone to neutralize those disagreements. So there my mom comes into play, and yeah, like she balances each other out so perfectly.
Typical office setting in the family as well. So that's really nice. So I just wanted to ask, what is your target country current for the handicrafts?
Currently, mhm. Currently, we're targeting Vietnam and China. So
Hmm.
China has always been there. So when I came into the statue business, like our one of our like major importers from our company used to be China, and then we tried different countries, and like currently I'm working on Vietnam.
Okay.
So, what are the most problems you have faced right now?
So there are multiple challenges, and one challenge I would like to talk is the lack of recognition of this like metal handicraft business in the international market, and the shortcomings from our government side, I would say. There are like Department of Tourism and this and that. There are like Department of Commerce and Trade and Commerce. So those departments are, I believe, like they are not up to the limit. Like they are not up to the standard where all the international customers would know. Okay, this statue is like made in this process, and this comes typically from Nepal. So we do not have an identity. So every time like we go on a business trip abroad, then we have to explain it to them. Like so many instances I've seen, like where they do not know where what Nepal is either. So they've heard the
Oh,
word Nepal for the very first time. So I have to give them references of like Mount Everest, the highest peak in the world, like Sagarmatha. They do not even know like Everest. They do not know Sagarmatha. They know Everest like here and there, but like actually the name is Sagarmatha, right? So I try to promote that in like the way it should have been done, like Sagarmatha, and like it's basically known as like the Mount Everest peak. Similarly, I also take reference of Lord Buddha, and there I get a lot of back questions that Buddha was born in India, right? We were taught in that way. So I would always have to correct them, like, no, that's not the case. Buddha was actually born in Nepal, in the place called Lumbini, and later he went to preach Buddhism and to gain enlightenment in certain parts of India.
So,
Interesting.
Rosik,
so
uh,
basically, you feel like identity crisis when you are in abroad, right?
Yeah.
BK can relate to what Rashik said as well.
Not particularly exactly because
Uh-huh.
I think predominantly in Australia, Nepalese people have been for here for a
Australia,
long time than
yeah, yeah,
especially Europe. And Rashik, I just want to ask you something. As Bibin said, there is a difference between a 9 to 5 job and an entrepreneurship, right?
yeah.
Like, at like in 9 to 5 job, I think you had the less responsibilities, especially after 5 o'clock. But by being an entrepreneur,
Hmm.
it's like a 24/7 job. So how do you manage your personal and the professional life?
So, like being an entrepreneur or like having your own business, it's like you're master of your own thing. So you do not get like instructions or this or that, but you have to create instructions for yourself. I believe that you have to create a timetable for yourself. You have to create a like daily schedule and then work on it, because like as humans we all are lazy. But we have to push ourselves. We have to push ourselves, like be it by setting targets and trying to meet that target in like as short time as possible. Have a time duration that okay, by this time I should be doing this. So like you have to create that for yourself. It's just that there's no one to instruct you, but you have to create that for yourself and you have to push yourself to get that work done. So it's just that.
So this BYOB culture, be
Bring
your
your
own
own
boss.
goods.
I knew Ruben would counter this. So BYOB, be your own boss culture. So this culture is like flourishing in Kathmandu and in Nepal as well. So you being your own boss, how difficult or how easy is it to be your own boss?
It is quite difficult. Like, there's a constant battle going on. Like, you just want to lay down, watch some movie or play some PUBG, or, like just if there's a, okay, NBA game going on, just watch that and stay lazy. So that's also a choice that you make. And like, I would say it's not that, I do not always, I'm always not active. My mind is always not on the, like proactive side and I always work. It's not that. You have your breakdowns. You need your lazy time as well. So one of my friends also told me that just staying home, like taking a bath and then watching TV, playing with your pet, and just doing nothing, just lazing around is also one privilege that one gets in this busy world.
Very,
I
very, very
like
true.
I
It's a
could not agree
luxury.
less on that. Yeah, it's a luxury. Yeah, it's a luxury. So yeah, I also feel that sometimes like I also lazy around. I also just stay and I do nothing at times. But doing that also like in the back of your head. Okay, so I did this. So it's like rewarding yourself. Okay, you did that for yourself. Maybe grab a can of beer, just stay. So do that as well, but then be focused on what you need to achieve and like accomplish as well. So that's how I try to push myself.
That's really nice. So move slightly to your service-oriented entrepreneurship journey as well. So let's talk about Velvet. How did you start? So what was the idea when you started Velvet? So what is Velvet? Just to let Velvet.
So Velvet's is like a cafe I own. I and my one of my very dearest friends, Omar, we had opened that cafe like back in 2018. 2018, yeah. So this was a concept. It was just a concept in the very preliminary stages. So it was not a cafe, it was not a thick sick factory. It was just a concept. Because back when I was in college, like we had a group of friends, like and we used to, like after college ends, we used to hunt down cafes. We used to go here and there, like a typical plus two completed or typical plus two studying students would do, like go to cafe, just hang out, do nothing, just go there, have a coffee or have a a drink and just stay there and just talk about things, like about like teachers or about girls or anything like that. So we used to do that. And back then we had the thought, okay, so once we grow up, like we should do something like something similar, which a good time pass for plus two or bachelor students. We thought of that, and it came to reality in the year 2017, around 17. So that was the time when one of the partner that I have, Omar, he went to Australia for his further studies, and we used to have constant talks on like like how is life going on, what you're doing, and everything like that. He also comes from a entrepreneurship kind of background. He has this food business from like his very roots. His mom, dad, his brothers, everyone were in the food business, and me being in a very completely different business, like it was like a typical Nepali handicraft business. So it was different for us, but then our ideas matched, and he had a thought. He always used to talk to me like that was the time when Kev Enters, if you remember, a branch from like India, a sub brand. It opened up in Nepal and it was doing wonders, let's say. So everyone were into, okay, if they have a photo in their Instagram with a bottle of Keventers, it would be like, massive, and they would be a certain hit. So we thought like, why not? It's such a simple thing, but like people are, that's how marketing works. Like Keventers marketed their products so well that, everyone wanted a picture with that. They did not actually care for the taste. Like I would think that way. They did not actually think for the case. Like once they had this coffee, it was brown in color. Next time they want the mint chocolate because it is green in color. It's something different. They might like the taste of the mint or not, but they would get that anyways just for the picture. So that was certain time like that. So we thought, okay, like if that's coming from India and certain part of that is going as royalty to India, why should we do that? If we open up our own brand, then why not we can, you know like uh, give people what they want. So that's where we thought, okay, we will do something with milkshakes and bottles and everything, make it fancy. So that was the initial thought. And the name Velvets, it came like out of blue. We were not planning anything, and it we thought like, okay, Velvets. Why? Because our milkshakes would be like as smooth as velvet. So
Velvet.
it's something silk. Yeah, so silky and smooth and everything. So that's how Velvets came up. And the first branch, it opened up in Civil Mall, outside Civil Mall. And I had not much to do with that because my friend, as I mentioned, he already had this family business and of related to food, so it was easy for him, and he opened up that. And later, after like 6 7 months of that, we had a thought, okay, like why not we, okay, milkshakes, we hit that market. But later what I thought, like Nepali coffee culture, because Nepal is well known all around the world for these highland beans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nepal being at such altitude and coffee being grown there. So those kinds of coffee have a very special taste and aroma. Basically, it's like aroma. So the coffee on the lowlands are called Robusta, and coffee on the highlands are called Arabica. So we had very good Arabica beans. So we thought, okay, why not, like Velvets as thick sakes is there. Plus, we will make like Velvet's Cafe for coffee.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how like Velvet's Cafe in Jaulakhel came into the idea and came into the reality.
That's nice. That's nice. Any questions, guys?
Do Nepal also produce coffee, as you said, like high beans coffee?
Yeah, Nepal does produce a lot of
Oh,
highland beans coffee.
oh. In social studies in book, I heard that in a Gulmi or somewhere like they grow
Mm.
coffee.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like, do
Gulmi.
they like import also like internationally? These high beans coffee.
Oh, so I like it's a difficult question because like Nepal being a small country, like and a very limited space for agriculture, and like typically highland beans, as I mentioned, there is a category like 4,000 meters above or something. I'm not sure about the numbers, but above that it's categorized as Arabica beans. So there are places like Gulmi being one of the very hyped up or very well known place for good coffee beans. So yeah, they have the coffee beans produced
Mm,
there,
okay.
like, and then later gone to the factory for processing, and then later roasted and packaged, and it's like exported in many parts of the world as well.
So just for a gyan, just for a gyan.
Hmm.
So I just went through the export number of coffee
Hmm.
from Nepal, and it is 32 tons of coffee that gets exported
Hmm.
in first 5 months of the 2020 year.
Hmm.
So Nepali
Oh.
farmers grow 530 tons of coffee annually on 2,761 hectares of land.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, we do export coffee. So in a huge the
Yeah.
gang, the gang.
Rasik, I just I'm also really interested in the service market actually,
Mm-hmm.
and especially restaurants and cafes are a very competitive market, right? It's just very there are
Very.
lots of them and lots of. So, do you establish pricing yourself?
Yeah, we do the pricing ourselves, but then it's not that, okay, so I would like to charge this for this item.
Y-
It's not like that.
Yeah.
We go for the competitive, like, pricing here and there. So we go to different other, like, similar types of cafes where, what type of coffee they're serving, what's the, like, level of service they are providing, like, so we kind of, like, compare and, like, okay, so this is the best price I think would be the best for this location, for this cafe, the type of service we're providing, the type of coffee we're providing, the type of equipments we're using. So yeah, depending on all that, we decide the price for our, like, products, let's say.
So when you just started out,
Coffee.
what was your like first thing we need to conquer? What was your first goal when you started out this business?
So the first goal was for me to learn, like, how does this work? Because, like,
Uh,
as I mentioned earlier,
mm,
like, I was from a completely different background, so
mm,
it was much of a trial for me. So, like, how to make people work under you, how to, like, impact people after, like, you serve them a coffee, like, get feedback from them. It was basically like to learn, like, how the coffee culture or the coffee business would work out and what type of feedback people would give. So it was more of a learning curve for me when this started in the initial phases.
That's
Yeah, are you
so.
planning to restaurant, open restaurant, or
um, lots of plans, but I just want to understand
maybe
further
come back
few things.
Nepal?
Maybe I just want to understand few things. So how do you select a skilled manpower? You need certain kind of people. How do you choose them? And especially in
and
right now,
and
customer service. Yeah. Customer
Mm-hmm.
service is very
Mm-hmm.
important. So
so
how
adding
you
up
do you
adding up to the
train
Yeah.
question,
them? Mm,
adding up to the Vicky asked,
Yes, we-
like, to get the skilled manpower, experienced manpower is very, very, very difficult, I assume, because most
Mm-hmm.
who are experienced and who are skilled in that tend to go up. So how do you or how do you select of the best barista in your
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how do you retain them?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah
Mm-hmm.
retaining as
So
well?
yeah, so when we first started, like, Velvet's Cafe in Chaulakil, so, like, I was such a newbie to the business. So my partner Omar, he helped me a lot. Like, he had connections with different coffee schools. He had, prior examples or prior experiences where he had hired baristas and, other kitchen staff as well. So what we did was, like, we gave an advertisement on our social media platforms, and from there we got pretty good number of interested people. And then we had a certain, like, interview session, and also they had to demonstrate, like, look, few of the selected people had to come up and then, demonstrate their coffee making skills and coffee art and everything. So yeah, that's how we got our first, like, baristas for the cafe. So it started that way, and it was, as I mentioned, it was a learning curve. I had never been there and, taking an interview from someone. It was always, like, me giving an interview for certain and certain kind of opportunity. So it was something very new for me back then. Like, when I first took an interview of a person, I was, like, confused to ask, like, okay, like, what should I ask next? Or, like, the normal questions we get in an interview, like, what is your expected salary, like, when can you start, or, like, what's your prior experiences. So yeah, like, it went through my mind, but it didn't come out through my mouth. So my friend was taking over there, and yeah, that I, like, really value as an experience. So later, later in years to come, I had to take interviews where my friend was not available, and, like, I took it easily.
That's nice. The most
So that's
common
how we
question that
hired our first staff.
the most common question that I get, like, the restaurant or the cafe don't pay well to the employee as well. So
Mhm.
how do you, like? Is it true?
So, what I'd say is like I'd like to keep some light on like what Bipin said earlier as well.
Controversy.
So I'd like to keep some light on what Bipin mentioned earlier. Like, there are people like getting skills for the barista training and everything. They once they get skilled, what the youth wants to do is they just want to get hired. They want to get some experience on like cafes, and they would apply abroad.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that is such a challenge that I recently faced as well. So that is one very big challenge. And other thing is like Rubin asked about how you retain them. So retaining the newbies, the youth just who just started in coffee, it's very difficult because like they just want to come in, they want to work maybe 3 to 6 months, and then they would say like, okay, I'm applying abroad, and like I cannot just pull them, tie a knot around them, and just like put in the cafe because it's their life and it's their like betterment. So I would all obviously want them to get better, get good opportunities, and like get better, grow big. And for the service business, like the employees that you have are the pillars of your business because they are the ones like who would make the coffee, who would treat the customers once they come inside, greet them, like make them have a comfortable seat, and then provide, ask them like what type of what services could they provide, and they provide the service in such a manner that they get impressed, they get relaxed, they get like what they a normal person would go to a cafe just to have a calm time or have a conversation with some person getting there, so make that environment for the customers is what the is what our workers should do. So like having good workers for yourself, having a good barista, having a good service person is the pillar to getting getting to the success of the cafe business, I would say.
Exactly. Last
Talking
week
about that
when
earlier, okay, baby,
go ahead, go ahead.
please go.
I
Yeah,
was
I was
just
talking
telling
about
you.
like, oh yes, my friend, one of my friends, he works as a HR manager, and what she was saying was, like it is a major problem nowadays to, kind of retain employee as mostly the millennials, because they have a lots of opportunities, and always they are always on the go, like they are, like what she said was chumuk chumuk type, like always looking for nice opportunities next. So yes, it might be a like a major problem right now.
So yeah, it's a difficult situation to handle employees like who okay, looking for better opportunities is a human behavior that like I also would do, like the person that I hired also would do. So making the business better for both of us, like growing growing as a business, making them understand, okay, the effort that you put into this business will help you as well and me as well. So making them understand, like talking with them at times, getting to the cafe, and like when there are no customers or anything, like talking in a collective way, involving them in the planning phase as well. So that I think would motivate the employees, okay, so my input also is there. So
Matters.
making them realize that, and honestly speaking, like they have better ideas, like because they are the ones who are there entire of the time, from the opening of the cafe to the closing of the cafe, they are there for the entire of the time. So they know like what type of customers are coming, what are the things that needs to be done. So having their input also makes them motivated that okay, so if I want to make certain changes, then I can give my input. So that is also one way like I am using to retain my employees. So I think that is helping me as well and helping them as well.
Win-win situation.
Yeah, it's a both
The
ways
last
win
the
situation.
last week the last I went to one Thakali restaurant, very famous
Mm.
Thakali restaurant. Their food customer service was worse, I would say. So
Was it
the
in
first
around?
I No, don't, let's not take the name. So
Let's not
Let's
take
not.
let's
I
not
know
take.
we've been what. Okay,
so the customer service, um,
Hmm.
whereas I recently I found it very, very, the customer service there was very good. Actually, it
Hmm.
was good. It is a small place, and your customers, space, you know what you are giving, and the people over there, they were very generous. They straightly said that we have these drinks tonight, and we don't have these drinks. We are very sorry for that. So, how do you train your staffs to deal with to be a good customer service, to give a customer service?
user experience.
Hmm. Hmm. So recently, we had hired a head barista who has a prior experience of doing this barista thing. So what I found was like you have to keep them motivated. You have to like every time you get there, like the way they treat you as well. That also depends. So if they are mad, they're that, then you will know like okay something is wrong. So get to the roots, like ask them like what's going on, and then basically like instruct them like no matter what the situation is, like maybe we are running out of few stocks, maybe we are running out of this or that, but just at least like once they ask for it, and if we cannot provide that specific item, give them options. Sorry, we are like currently like running out of these things, so would you be interested in this? So this is something that is good here, is a good seller here. So like give them options. Like once they say this, okay, we are out of this, just let's not stop it there. Give them options. Talk,
Yeah.
uh, talk talk in a way like in which they feel calm, they feel homely as well. Because as I mentioned earlier, like you either go to a cafe to get relaxed, have a drink, and just have your own space, or like you go with friends and then have conversation of this and that. So for the customer who is there to have his or her own space, calm his mind, so you have to talk good to them. Once they come inside, greet them. You don't even need to say anything. You just need to give a good smile, and then give them a welcoming smile, so that they feel okay, yeah, it's good. So always like I compare myself going to some other cafes or some other restaurants, and if they like they have a initial look of some anger, rage, or like they're mad at something, they're maybe they have pressure of their work with their owner or anything like that. But then I am a customer there, so I should be given a smile, and then I would feel better already. So that is what I always tell the barista at my cafe and the service person at my cafe. At least like when they come in, you don't have to say good morning or good afternoon. If you can say that, do that. If not, just give them a smile, and like let them have a comfortable seat, and then you go and approach them and ask like what would you like to have or anything like that.
That's
Yes,
really
that
nice,
makes
and
sense totally.
that's exactly what I got in. Yeah, Vicky, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I think we have talked about many things like customer service and everything, but I think we need to talk about one of the most important thing, a financial structure. Like, how do you
Yeah.
generate your investments? How do you break even, or how do you find out sponsors for your like ventures and everything?
So, talking about my like family metal statue handicraft business, so it has been there in my family for a very long time. So, I do not have to think much of the financials there. My dad would be basically looking after all the incomings and outgoings of the finances there. But for the cafe, like I am responsible there. So, like managing finances is the most important for any individual, maybe in a service oriented, maybe in product oriented, maybe doing a 9 to 5 job, anything. Financials management is the basic basic skill one should have. So when I started, it was quite a thing for me, like because sometimes you think like okay, like 5 rupees or 10 rupees or like even 100 rupees, it won't make much of a difference, but ultimately it will make a difference. So you have to be as like clear on this financials as possible, because that is one difficult skill that you have. So what I have implemented is like uh, whenever I try to do like a weekly check on all the stocks, on all the sales and everything. Every day I get the sales report, like how much the sales was, how much the expenses were. Every day I have a check on that, and on a weekly basis I try to summarize that, so that it becomes like visible for me, and also a transparency for my friend to look after that as well. So basically, I am looking on the operation side and all the operation sides of Velvet's Cafe. So I have to make the transparency of the financial transactions for him as well. So that is also a good part for me, because that will keep me motivated, that or that will make compel me to clear out the finances every week, so that whenever he asks me like, okay, how was it or how was that, so it'll be easy for me, like, because I am up to date on the finances, so that I will be able to answer him. So that is how financials are working for me for Velvets.
Interesting,
It is
interesting.
crucial,
That's nice.
Yeah.
financials.
Yeah. And I think final question from me for today. I don't know. Like there is a pandemic going on. You have two businesses right now. So how are you handling the situations? How did it actually impact you?
Uh-huh. So this pandemic has a it has had like a very bad effects on almost all the businesses all around the globe, not only in Nepal, not only for me, not only for like an individual living someplace. So it impacted everyone. Yeah, it impacted very badly on our business as well. For the statue handicraft business, it was like shut down for 3 4 months or so, and the effects that come after the major shutdown also was very bad, because for any business to revive, and then it takes time. For anything to start, it takes time. So once it stopped for such a long time, it took a long time to revive that again. So it was difficult during those times, uh, like there was nothing to talk about, or there was no any like business transaction going on. So like you were shut at home. It was like nothing is going on, and your mind is blank. So it was difficult times, yeah. But then slowly, every time has a phase, it passes. As like Vicky said earlier, it passes, time passes. So yeah, that's the good thing of time. When you are having good time, it also passes. When you're having a bad time, it also passes. So
Time
having
goes
that
on.
faith, yeah, time goes on. Having that faith in yourself, okay, we'll do once everything settled down, so we'll do much better. Like there's much more to do. So that was there in the back of the mind. So yeah, it went by.
He has such a good positivity, every time he comes up with the challenges or the problem, he also gives the solution, and he also gives a good hope. Hats off to your positivity, Rashik.
Yeah,
So
Mhm.
look at his background. It's so positive. Look at ours. It's all wide
look at
and
mine, look at mine. So
yeah.
yeah, Rashik, coming back,
Uh-huh.
like we are almost at the end of this episode, and just two questions from my side. So if you had like a chance to go out in a dinner with a business person or an entrepreneur around the world, so with whom would you like to go, and why?
Such a question I never thought I would be asked.
Hmm.
So, I think like a person I forgot his name. My God, I used to look at a few of his interviews and everything. I would not say Elon Musk or everything, because they are like way beyond. I would say the owner of AliExpress,
Ali,
Oh
probably
yeah. Oh yeah.
Jack
Oh
Ma,
yeah.
Jack Ma, Jack Ma.
Jack Ma.
Marlin or something.
Jack Ma.
Jack
Yeah.
Ma.
Jack Ma, yeah, Marlin, I think. Yeah, Jack Ma.
Uh,
So, yeah, I used to look at few of his interviews, like, he was, I would say, like, I would love to go with him.
Rachik,
Reason
I
being,
think he won't talk to you right now after after he went on a vacation
The
for a few
controversy is
months.
going on.
I think he may not be the
Hmm.
same person that he used to be.
okay, I currently do not know what he is doing, or like, where he is, but me saying that is because like I used to go through some of his like interviews and everything, how he started Starbucks and how he started like AliExpress and everything. So it kind of inspired me. Small things, like necessary things, like AliExpress, what it does, like it gives you the basic needs, like just the transport business. So he hit a very basic thing and he succeeded there. So yeah, that is why I would say.
That's nice. So, any more questions, or I have a last question for him, guys? Any more
Please
questions?
go ahead, Bipin.
Yeah. So, so this is let's make this question a bit interesting. I was just going to ask like tips for any entrepreneurs that would start, but then let's make this question very interesting one. So, what would the present Rasik if tell to uh, Rashik who was 10 years back, who was just about to start the entrepreneur's journey? What would you say to him?
hmm all the experiences that I've gained, like working in like different two different types of businesses, what I got is like if you have an urge to start, you should start.
Hmm.
If you have a thought to start, you should start. So once, like as I mentioned, the first step is the most difficult one. Once you have the first step taken, then either it will like uh, take some time for it to flourish or to go down or up, but at least you started. At least you started, like at least you're working on it, and maybe it will fail or maybe it will succeed. Like it depends on the fate as well, and it depends on the input that you give in as well, but at least you started. Then like moving ahead in life, like you will have certain experience from there, which would be very valuable for the things that you are to do in future. So that is what I believe. So just start something. If you have an urge, if you have a thought, if you have a a wish from your inner heart, then you should start.
Yeah,
That's really
just do it.
Yeah, just do it.
that's how we started this podcast as well. We had the thought and we just started it. Thanks to
Yeah,
Vicky.
yeah.
So yeah, so yeah, this episode was as smooth as velvet. So another branding, another branding. Yeah. So yeah, I I really am uh, proud of what you are right now, and proud that we are friends right now, and we have been friends from years. And I wish you all the best. I hope this COVID and everything goes by and your further plans would get success. I'm allowed to say this or not, but you are in plan of storing, I mean like opening stores abroad as well. I wish you a best of luck for that venture as well. And yeah, uh, let's 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 grow and let's sponsor each others as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
jokes apart, thank you very much, Rasik. It was really pleasure talking to you, and I think it was very informative episode for the entrepreneurs, for the upcoming entrepreneurs as well. And we wish you, we from Offbeat Zone, we would like to wish you a very very best of luck for your future as well.
Yeah.
Anything from you guys?
Yeah. I'd like to really thank Rosik for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you, Rosik. Also,
And
stay safe.
thank I'd like to thank everyone, for giving me an opportunity to speak up about like how like it was time for me to reflect on like, okay, I've been through this, I've been through that. So it was good memories for me as well, to rewind on what I had done and like be more focused on what I have to do next. And as like Bipin said, like we started Offbeat Zone like just so. So yeah, this is a very good start, I would say, and you guys have like way more to achieve. And like yeah, be natural. This is what this Offbeat Zone is all about, I guess. So looking at few of your episodes, like I feel like it is like such an indulging part, like when like you guys are just speaking up, but like listening to it, like I feel like, oh no, this is not that, or this is not that. I would say it to myself. So yeah, so keep that going, and yeah, let's help each other out. Let's see.
That's really smart. And uh, a boy who used to be captain of cricket team back in school, a boy who used to be captain in the class, and a boy who used to be a
Uh-huh.
captain of everything in the school, growing up and being a captain in his life, really
Mhm.
feels us proud seeing that. So yeah, our teachers, everyone should be proud of you, what you are currently. So having said that, this is Bipin Maharjan, along with Vicky, Rubin, and the smarty Rasik, signing off from episode number 12. We will see you in episode number 13. Till then, bye bye.
Bye bye.